everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Gentoo, your source for all things gaming and tech related. I'm Aaron James.
And I'm not Wesley Bertha, I'm Nathaniel Cochran. Let's jump right into this week's up-and-coming releases. You can see these games and many more released throughout the month on your favorite platforms.
We've got another week with a couple big titles hitting shelves. There's a little something for everybody to look forward to.
Devil May Cry 5 for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on March 8th. This game comes 11 years after the release of Devil May Cry 4. In this installment, join a young devil hunter named Nero, who carries with him the Red Queen sword and the Blue Rose revolver, and he takes out hordes of demons with his anti-demon arm known as the Devil Breaker.
Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn for the Nintendo 3DS on March 8th. Kirby has been transported into a world of yarn by an evil sorcerer, and it is up to Kirby to save the world from multiple new yarn enemies as he transforms into different knit objects like tanks and flying saucers.
RBI Baseball for the Xbox One, PS4, and Nintendo Switch on March 5th. This game comes with everything you would expect from a new edition of a baseball game. A new roster, new features in the franchise mode, improved gameplay, but the real question is it better than MLB The Show? The answer is no, not really.
The Occupation for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on March 5th. In this game, you play as a journalist in West England, where an explosion causes a stir and political unrest. You are tasked with investigating and questioning people on their actions from a night which resulted in the loss of many lives. But can you solve the crime in time?
These games and many more will be released throughout the month, so be sure to look out for them. Up next, check out Aaron's analysis with, well, Aaron. That's my boy.
I had a heck of a good time with Dragon's Dogma, but it's not a very good RPG. It's like it was made by people who just read about RPGs rather than actually having played any. It's this really weird mix of an amazing combat engine and a world that provides an excellent sense of exploration and wonder, but the NPCs are metaphorical pencil sketches and not very interesting, while the inhabited areas are very sparsely populated. The story's really odd, with a very strange structure to it. The main city, Grand Soren, feels nearly empty. It's mostly a huge cardboard cutout with very little in it. Character motivations are very thin, and the relationship system is entirely a joke. You could very easily end up with a random shopkeep as being your love interest for the plot, just because you talk to him a lot. Quests routinely disappear. As you advance in the main plotline, the world state keeps changing, and old quests are frequently invalidated. There's no easy way to tell which ones will be lost or what will cause them to go away. There's not a lot of voice work, and you hear the same stuff a lot from the pawns in your party. They are endless chatterboxes, and they constantly repeat themselves. If you're looking for anything similar to The Witcher 3 or Skyrim, Dragon's Dogma will be an enormous disappointment. If instead you buy it as a fantasy combat simulator and don't worry too much about the story, it's got some serious legs. I got around 200 hours out of it. You have a main character and a pawn, which you create and control. You're sort of a two-person party to begin with. Then you go online and you can hire other people's pawns to adventure with you. This is free if you get someone at your level or lower. You only have to pay if you hire a higher level pawn. Likewise, your pawn can be hired by others. They can be out adventuring with other people while they're with you, and when they rest next, they'll return from your expeditions bringing rift crystals, which is a form of currency generated by the trip, and possibly items from the player if they really liked your pawn. There's a great deal of complexity in the pawn AI system, where pawns come up with inclinations based on what they see you doing, and through a process of answering questions that the pawn asks you back in the inn. You can buy potions that will let you manipulate these behaviors as well, so that you can tune your pawn to fight in a particular way. Others will look at its inclinations when hiring, as you will when hiring theirs, and you'll be trying to assemble a combinations of inclinations, classes, and powers that work well as a team. The equipment system is pretty complex as well, and as you get further into the game, particularly the expansion, you'll need to understand quite a bit to get into the really tough content in the Bitter Black Isle. You won't even go there on your first playthrough. It's way too tough until you've beaten the main game at least once, and preferably twice. New Game Plus is an absolutely central figure to Dragon's Dogma. When you finish, you can start over from the beginning, keeping everything except a few plot-related items. Everything in the world resets back to day one. It's just like starting again, but with a vastly stronger character. After you've beaten it twice, then you're about ready to start tackling Bitter Black Isle, which is where the game really starts to shine. The expansion pretty much gives up on the RPG idea, which the game was never good at anyway. Bitter Black Isle is a labyrinth of weirdness with many combat areas that respawn once a week in-game, so you can keep revisiting and fighting different variations of monsters. Each area can typically spawn many possible scenarios. This is where Dragon's Dogma excels, so that's why they focus on mostly combat, with some exploration mixed in, pretty much giving up on the story elements altogether. In the high end, it almost becomes a study sim. I spent a very great deal of time reading the excellent wiki, Understanding how the equipment works and the intricacies of the combat system is pretty involved. Without the wiki, I don't think I would have enjoyed it nearly as much. There's just so much to know. I can't imagine one person being able to assemble all that knowledge in a reasonable amount of time. Overall, I enjoyed this game very, very much, thanks to the intricate combat that allowed for multiple playthroughs and different builds to be tested. Just don't go into it expecting standard RPG fare, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Thanks for watching Aaron's analysis. Next up, we have Trevor doing whatever it is that Trevor does. I don't know yet because I still haven't been told.
Hello gamers, and welcome back to This Week In, that segment of Gentoo where I talk about video game news, updates, releases, industry happenings, and more. This week I'm talking about Bungie's Destiny 2. Last week, Bungie released a Vidoc detailing what players can expect for their new Season of the Drifter content running from March to May. The Season of the Drifter will provide content for all players, though annual pass holders will receive the bulk of the content. As with previous Destiny DLCs, or seasons as they are calling them now thanks to Fortnite I imagine, players can expect new armor, weapons, activities, power increases, game modes, maps, and I'm sure a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so there is a lot to cover here and there is no way I'm getting through all of it in 3 minutes, but I'm gonna do my best. First, here is some context. The Drifter is a vendor/character introduced back when Destiny 2 released its Year 2 Forsaken content. With Drifter came an all-new game mode dubbed Gambit. Gambit is a mode that blends Destiny's traditional PvE, or player versus environment gameplay experience, with that of PvP, or player versus player. Although flawed, as most things introduced into Destiny are until they get reworked later, the mode was a huge success. It pins 2 teams of 4 against waves of enemies in separate arenas. Defeated enemies drop motes. The motes are then deposited into a bank. At certain thresholds, a blocker is sent to the other team. During that time, the other team cannot deposit motes until they defeat the blocker. Additionally, one player from each team is able to invade the other team's arena for a short duration to disrupt that team's progress. When a team deposits 75 motes, they summon the prime evil, or boss. Once the boss is defeated, that team wins. I think this goes on for a few rounds, but I haven't played in a while, so I can't specifically remember. New quests and pinnacle weapons will become available for players in their favorite activities. Pinnacle weapons are activity-specific weapons that are designed to perform well for those activities. The more I read up on what is happening in the Destiny universe, the more I want to jump back into it. If only I had the time. Anyways, that Gambit mode I mentioned before is getting a Prime version, or the sweaty tryhard version as the developers put it. This version only has 1 round and apparently the stakes are higher. When players begin the round, it'll feel like a normal Gambit match, but as they progress and gain perks, the mode will transform over time. Players will now have the ability to drain the other team's motes. Also, the boss fight mechanics have been added to encourage teamwork to unlock damage phases, similar to Destiny's Pinnacle raid activities. New armor sets have been created for this mode to exclusively allow players to refine their roles in Gambit Prime. These roles are the Reaper, the Collector, the Sentry, and the Invader. Alright, well I'm basically out of time. There is another PvE mode with this season that specifically ties into the new Gambit Prime mode, but that'll have to be for another video. As always, thank you for watching KNWT Channel 8. My name is Trevor, and I will see you next time.
Welcome to another edition of Game Breakers. I'm your host, Wesley Bertha, and this week, like I promised last week, we're going to be playing NBA 2K19. We're going to be playing my team on NBA 2K19. But this week, you guys should actually expect me to win, because I've played this one, have a pretty good team, and I know what I'm doing. Okay, because 2K is my game. I'm pretty good at 2K. Right, anyway, but on my team, I'm going to show you guys all the game modes. It's domination, 3-on-3, everything that my team game has to offer. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it.
So I'm going to start off by showing you guys the full My Team menu. So it starts off obviously on home and then heads to single player. So today basically we're going to be playing triple threat and some challenges. But you guys see all the options that you have. You have the pack market, and market is basically where you buy cards. I'm not really the biggest fan of pack openings, but it's still an effective use of buying cards. And this is auction. This is personally my favorite one because you know you're able to auction off My Team points, and you're able to purchase players that you have, and of course your collection. So this is a challenge gameplay. And in the challenge mode this year, basically you play a part of every single NBA team schedule, and then in the end you play that team, if that makes sense. So you guys see at the end of the game, you get a reward system. So basically you get my team for how well you play, and you get my team anyway, but this is extra my team points so that you can, have a little more my team points to throw around. So you see right here, the last team you play is the Hornets. So this is the part of the Hornets schedule. You're gonna see me purchasing contracts from a team. That's something that kind of bothers me about the game, that you have to constantly keep up with the contracts. But if you have enough my team points to really throw around, you should be fine, really. Now we're gonna switch over to one of my favorite parts about this game, is the customization of your team. Now me myself, I'm a bit of a basketball fanatic, so having historical players that's played through so many years of basketball and having modern day players and mixing them up together to make this cohesive unit is one of my favorite things to do in general. But to have it in a sort of simulation format is really cool to me. So the next gameplay we're gonna hop into is a triple threat or 3-on-3 gameplay thing. I don't really understand how this kind of works, but it's pretty fun. So at the beginning you have this sort of lotto thing where you can randomly get something, so you kind of drop a ball and you see what happens, and I was able to get 200 my team points, which is pretty cool. So, and I actually just noticed that the team that you pull in the lotto thing, you actually play in the triple threat mode. So I'm playing my personal favorite team, the Bulls, obviously. And I think this is really the best my team has to offer this year. I mean, it's an it's an arcadey style, and I really enjoy that type of gameplay. But I want to thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Gentoo. Make sure to tune in next week where we'll be playing my career in NBA 2K19, and I'll show you guys how good I am at that.
Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another episode of Monkey Plays. This week we are playing Realm Royale. Realm Royale is a free-to-play battle royale game that was released for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Created by Hi-Res Studios and published in early June of 2018. This game features multiple character classes, each with unique abilities, and is a spin-off the hero shooter Paladins, where it originated as a game mode known as Paladin Battlegrounds. At first glance, when I saw this game, I thought no way it could be fun. I felt like it was confusing having to pick characters, learn their special abilities, then die immediately if you weren't good, and I simply didn't want to do that. The gun mechanics also looked weird, and movement as well, which I'm not used to. Watching streamers play, it seemed like they were playing for the money and not the memory, which was my ultimate decision in not playing at first. I'm hoping to at least enjoy this game and come out with more positives than negatives. One of the first things I like about this game is that you turn into a chicken when you get shot and killed, and gives you a chance to run away and possibly save yourself while in chicken mode. You have 20 seconds in chicken mode, and after the time limit runs out, you turn back into a human and carry on with the game. I really like this aspect because it gives you a chance to outsmart an enemy, run away, or kill them if they aren't expecting it. This is one of my favorite features in the game. The next thing I like about this game is the ability to craft items. There is a forge located in different spots around the map that lets you have the chance to create health and armor potions, a weapon, a special ability as well as movement, and a rune, which I fully didn't get to learn while playing. You get shards by scrapping unwanted weapons, abilities, and potions that you find in chests. While I didn't use this feature too much in the game, I thought it was really cool to have the ability to create items. The only drawback is the forge timer is visible throughout walls. The next thing I enjoyed about this game was having a source of movement with you at all times, your horse. What I liked about this the most was that you didn't have to go find it or wait for a cooldown timer to run out. The horse is with you at all times, which makes traveling in this game much more enjoyable than constantly running. The movement in this game was a bit different from what I'm used to, and having a horse ready by your side was very nice to have. The one thing I didn't like about Realm Royale was how long it actually took to get into a match. While this isn't the game's fault or developers, it's just super annoying having to wait a minute to join a match when I'm used to booting in one within 30 seconds like on Apex Legends or Fortnite. One way I feel like they could fix this is just by decreasing the server population from 100 to 60 or somewhere around there. This game feels weird having 100 people because movement is slow and lacks agility. That is just one of the few things I didn't like. This game was actually really fun. I never wanted to quit playing or get upset at all. I even played it when I wasn't recording. While this isn't a fast-paced game how I usually like and I'm used to playing, it was a nice change-up. The cartoon appeal was perfect in my opinion and honestly made me laugh at certain points. The game seemed balanced and I felt like I had fair gunfights with any enemy, obviously better than I was. Nothing felt overpowered nor were people abusing glitches. I feel like this game could have been a lot more popular if they didn't release it in the prime light of Fortnite, which is sad to say personally. This game is definitely in the top 5 of my favorite battle royales. I'm going to give this game a 7 bananas out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. I'll see you later. And up next, here's Dalton with Delta.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another exciting episode of Project Delta. I'm Dalton Spees, and this week with me I have...
Nathaniel Cochran.
And we've got some Titanfall 2 gameplay for you.
Enjoy.
But this week we're going to be talking about EA's new game, Anthem. And so Anthem, it's a game that when I first saw it, I saw it from gameplay from it at E3 a couple years ago. And I was actually really excited, and it seemed like a game that would be really enjoyable, and I think it had a lot of potential.
It still does.
And the hype was deserved, but now, here we are 2 years later, and it's finally out, and it seems reviewers are not happy as it sits at a 60% on Metacritic.
You almost said that at me as like an insult. I'm just going to say.
Why do you think people's thoughts on the game have changed so drastically in that time?
Well, I think a lot of people were expecting a full BioWare game, and how I've been describing this is a BioWare light game.
Okay.
So, for example, there are threads in the game that are like extremely BioWare. Like there's a character there's a character dialogue option that's like, I'm actually interested in knowing you. You know, like that's very clearly a romance option, but there's no romance in the game. So you know, a little bit of lack of BioWare-ness, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like EA wanted a new shooter, right?
Of course.
And BioWare was like, but we're gonna make a BioWare game. But then EA went in and are like, no, you're not, and just started cutting all the BioWare-ness out of it. So it feels a little hollow. The gameplay's fantastic. When it's going well, and you're in a group of 4, I've only been able to play like with my friend once because a lot of other I don't have a full squad of 4 yet.
Yeah.
But I've only been able to play with one other person. Shout out to Nate. But I've only been playing with one other person, and when we are actually working, oh my god,
when you're actually working together, it's a fun time.
Actually. Yeah, it's actually a lot of fun. But you also like I play with randos all the time. I honestly thought he was dead. I play with randos all the time, and it's a really, really good time.
Yeah, and then I think like EA, they were wanting a shooter, and then Respawn just comes out with Apex Legends, and it's way bigger than you can even think that Anthem will ever reach right now. It's pretty much, it's just about killed Fortnite. Fortnite's
thank God
revenue has gone down 50% just in the month that Apex came out, and it doesn't look like it's going to be doing good. But if I remember correctly, BioWare used to be the one developer owned by EA that would actually put out good games other than just like, oh, this is the same sports game we put out for the last 10 years. And an example of that, their good games is like the Mass Effect trilogy, even though the ending to 3 left a little bit to be desired.
I was okay with the ending of 3, but yeah.
So, you know, but then they put out Andromeda, which it seems like a lot of people were not very high on, and now Anthem, which although it looks promising, many people were really disappointed by it. Do you think BioWare is just becoming inconsistent, or do you think EA may be the problem in that relationship?
I do think EA is the issue in this relationship. I didn't know I didn't just spawn on my Titan. Oh, I just want to say really quick, the reason why we're playing Titanfall is because we couldn't get Anthem to work because EA for online only.
Oh, shout out to loading screens as well.
Oh yeah, shout out to loading screens that just froze. Man, I'm trying to make a case that Anthem's actually good and then Anthem won't work. But Anthem, you fly around in a giant robot suit and get to pretend to be Iron Man, and in Titanfall, you pretend to be a giant robot also. So
you're like the Hulkbuster.
Yes, exactly.
Just back to Iron Man.
Sorry, going back to that relationship between EA and BioWare. That's why Mass Effect 3 was such a botch job, according to everybody, is because EA is like, no, you guys have to release now. Skyrim just came out. You guys need to release right now because we need to be in the game.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it always comes down to money, right? It always just comes down to money.
Especially with EA.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, I don't see any glaring issues in Anthem, but also I'm somebody who doesn't give a crud about loading screens and stuff like that. Oh, he was just about to get in. Oh, I'm a monster. Did you want to play the most fun part of the game? Well, too bad. I'm going to murder you.
So I know, of course, there's a lot of people that are comparing this game to titles like Borderlands and Destiny and Warframe. And I know, of course, you've played Borderlands, but have you played any of the others, and how do you think that they compare to Anthem?
So I've played all of those games that you mentioned. Warframe was interesting because it very much turned into, if you're not paying for the game, why are you even playing it?
Oh, those are my favorite kind of games, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's like, no, it's free, guys. So how I would put it is, yes, like Borderlands, the 4-player cooperative story, yes, I agree with that completely. There's no PvP. It's very much working together, and that's what I love about games.
Yeah,
I like playing with my friends more than I like
exactly.
playing against people. He says while playing a competitive multiplayer match, but you know, can I do
Oh,
it?
yeah. Laser that boy. Oh.
Zap.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Come
go
here.
punch it.
Come here.
Go
Come here.
punch
Come here.
him.
Come here. Come here. Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, I just got stomped on. But yeah. I believe that's a fair comparison to Borderlands. But comparing it to Destiny, I wouldn't say, because it's, even though there's a lot less to do, it's still not as bland as Destiny Day 1, if that makes sense.
I've got to be honest. I bought Destiny 2 when it came out, and I played it on launch day, and I never played it again.
Yeah, like, it's not as bland as Destiny was, for me at least. How I actually would compare it is Destiny skin on Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter Worlds is one of my favorite games, but the whole thing in Monster Hunter is you go out, do a mission, get stuff to make your equipment better, then go out and do harder missions because you have better equipment. And that is the grind that is Anthem. And because I'm accustomed to it, I don't see any real glaring issues with Anthem, truthfully. Like, the loading screens, yeah, an issue. I've been dropped a couple of times.
Yeah.
So far, 3 in one session of playing with my friend.
Ouch.
Yeah. But even then, I guess I kind of expect it because, you know, servers are servers. And so if people aren't...
Yeah, and I think EA specifically has some of the absolute worst servers of all time.
I agree with that
It seems like they're just down just about all the time. And so, like, talking about the gameplay of Anthem, I want to know, like, I know there's a few different suits and classes that you can choose between. What suit do you find yourself in the most?
I main Colossus.
What are some of your favorite parts?
I am the biggest boy because I'm a big boy. Oh, he is thick with 5 C's. Throw him up on screen. Colossus.
Oh.
Sorry, Dalton. But yeah, I play Colossus. He's the tank. Instead of having a dodge like all the other Titans, oh my god, like all the other javelins, he actually has a shield. And you can sprint around and shield bash people instead of like ducking, weaving. You just pull out your shield and mess people up.
Oh, Titan time.
Yeah, and so I like that. I also have a ordnance launcher on my shoulder, which can be like either a mortar or the one I'm currently using. I really like it's a firewall. It's an area control effect instead of just just a direct hit. It actually creates a wall of fire that enemies can't go through or they'll die. But then when they're on fire, also you can set up a combo, and that's where my wrist launcher comes in because I have like a grenade launcher on my wrist, which lets me fire a grenade that sets off the combo.
Well, as we just saw you exit your Titan, we're going to have to exit this episode. So I was Dalton Speece, and with me was...
Nathaniel Cochran.
And thanks for watching.